What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and zoinks! Thank God for video game news. I mean, like, video game train wreck news. Now, I've tried in the past to cover, XYZ, new video game came out, this is big news, or XYZ, new video game is delayed, or Comic-Con is delayed. Most people that watch my channel don't care about that. There are much better, more professional gamingnews.tm channels out there. However, there are a few that cover the hilarious train wrecks better than I dare say. And yesterday, Assassin's Creed Valhalla was revealed, and of course, there is all sorts of gigantic problems with it. Now, before I get into that, huge shout out to this video sponsor, Displate. Now, I started getting in a brand new order of a wide variety of new displays, including a bunch of super special Star Wars ones, which I will only be able to show you in a couple of weeks. But in the meantime, displays are high quality prints on metal that come easily mountable via magnets, movable, you can put them together, you can create your own collages. And let's be honest, all of us are sitting inside right now staring at some walls that could be less boring. Displate has offered, if you use my link in the description and pinned comment below, you will get a super special 30% off now till the 4th of May. So if you want to spruce up your walls and support somebody who also supports this channel, pick up your displays using my link in the pinned comment below and save a ton of money. Hope you enjoyed your new displays. I appreciate Displate sticking by me when literally every other sponsor on earth has pulled back spending, given everything that's going on right now. Now, a bevy of new articles about Assassin's Creed Valhalla have come out, and I'm going to cover them. Paul Tassi writes, The Last of Us 2 spoilers and sexism plague Assassin's Creed Valhalla reveal. Then we also have Kotaku, Assassin's Creed Valhalla delves promptly shut down BS concerns about female Vikings. Oh my goodness. Let's start with Paul Tassi, who normally does really good reporting, although this leans into the more urinalistic integrity type articles. But yesterday, Ubisoft did something pretty cool. They revealed the next Assassin's Creed game with a day-long stream of artistic boss Logic creating art for the game in Photoshop. It became pretty clear that the setting would be the Viking era after a couple of hours. Hard to hide those ships. And by the end, the setting was complete, and the Assassin's Creed Valhalla was announced with a trailer to come today. It was a neat concept, but it was impossible to recommend that anyone actually tune into the stream. Why? Take your pick. Last of Us 2 spoilers or rapid sexism. Yesterday's live stream shows perils of tuning into any major stream over the course of the next month due to information about the plot of The Last of Us 2 that was leaked a week ago by a disgruntled ex-Naughty Dog employee. Now, I have seen that refuted. I thought we're not necessarily sure if it was an employee. I don't know. Maybe it has been confirmed. No less than 60 seconds after tuning into the stream in the morning, I was greeted with Last of Us 2 spoilers. No more than a single line of text in the fast-scrolling chat, but it was still impossible not to see. And not to have it ruin those significant plot points. I'd already had the plot spoiled the previous day on Twitter, but I imagine thousands more had it ruined by the stream. Okay, multiple problems with this. Okay, you already had it spoiled. So it wasn't spoiled for you by these. So you still wrote an article complaining about it. I guess because other people might have had it spoiled. 2, you can turn off Twitch chat. It's pretty easy to do. I suppose if you are knowingly... I mean, there aren't many people out there, I can imagine, that had, like, say, pre-ordered The Last of Us 2 and aren't aware the leaks exist. As the day continued, it didn't stop. Hours later, you could tune in within a few minutes. Those same Last of Us 2 spoilers would appear again. It wasn't just a meme at the start. And something that ran all day long. It was impossible to avoid, especially on YouTube, which seemed even less moderated than Twitch. Well, here's the thing Paul Tassi fails to understand about the internet. When you tell the internet not to do something, the opposite happens.
Enough right there. That lick is... Put it down. Stuart, don't put... Take it out. No, Stuart!
And it happens for longer and more fervently than you could have ever imagined. The internet is like the Streisand effect with a multiplier of infinity. If you say, I don't know, run around striking down videos talking about the leaks, what do you think people are going to do? This is the problem that companies don't understand. If something leaks, you just let it be, all right? You don't flag down videos. You don't whinge and cry and post Kurt Cobain quotes to your Instagram. You say, man, this sucks, moving forward. Or better yet, you probably move up the release of the game if you can. That led to the second item later in the day. For most of the stream, Boss Logic was hiding the central figure in the middle of the piece, but near the end he started filling it in, and eventually you could see that with a beard being colored in, this character was male, even if you couldn't fully see the face. Well, nowadays, I don't know if you can be totally sure. This naturally set off a very gross maelstrom of chat comments. Ubisoft has never committed to making a solo female assassin in any of its major Assassin's Creed releases, outside of minor titles like AC3 Liberation. Eventually, they started introducing choice in some games, picking between male and female, Fry siblings in the Syndicate, and most recently, again, picking between siblings Cassandra and Alexios in Odyssey. By the way, this is just the way to do it. You also see Cyberpunk basically having genderless models that sort of look like a traditional dude or sort of look like a traditional woman. I mean, I think that's probably being a little too sensitive. But yeah, just give people a choice, and then you'll only have to deal with what about my representation from a smaller group of people. This is a choice. This choice was permanent for the duration of the game. I previously said it was a big mistake in Odyssey to even have the choice, as with the majority of player picking Alexios, they missed out on playing Cassandra. Oh yeah, letting people choose is a bad decision, Paul Tassi. Genuinely, one of the best video game characters to be introduced in this decade, in your opinion. I did hope with a rumored Viking game that we would see a Shield Maiden lead, but once the beard showed up on the stream, a male protagonist was confirmed, at least as an option. The problem with this reaction of the chat was where a large number of fans were actually celebrating the fact that it wasn't a woman. That was revealed as a lead character in the image. Among the statements yesterday, no female, I'm happy. We need a male character. Yes, not a stupid woman. And the multiples of that times several hundred, as it's pretty much representative sample. Sigh. It's almost like Paul Tassi knowingly ignores why people might say this. Why, Paul Tassi, do you think they'd say this? Maybe it's because people like you write these articles. Maybe it's because the nonstop implication that there is a problem with a video game if there isn't a female protagonist. That there's a problem with gamers, as you definitely assert here, not choosing to play a female protagonist. See, a female choosing to play a female is stunning and brave. A male choosing to play a male is sexist. That is the narrative trumpeted by mainstream video game media, which is exactly why you got that response, you absolute disingenuous urinalist. If I had to guess, Assassin's Creed Valhalla did not have an exclusive male protagonist. Rather, I think we may be heading deeper into RPG territory, and this may be the first Assassin's Creed with a character creator, which would allow for both gender options and players to make their shield maidens if they want. I think that's why we can't see the face of the character in the artwork. We'll probably see that aspect revealed in today's trailer, if it does exist. Again, nobody cares. We play the game for the story, the gameplay, and mechanics, not whether or not I'm a woman. But you see Kotaku said, Assassin's Creed Valhalla devs preemptively shut down BS concerns about female Vikings. Women exist. And this is a basic fact of life. Yes, also men exist. And men's existence isn't by in and of itself a problem, like so many games journalists say. But it's also a frequent source of controversy for more, let's say, reactionary sections of the gaming community. Reactionary is code word. It's the new word they use for, what's the other word they used to say? Provocateur. It's a way to try and discredit people they disagree with. Ubisoft has addressed this decision to allow players to choose between male and female versions of the Viking protagonist in the upcoming Assassin's Creed. Quote, the archaeological sources are highly debated on this specific issue, said a name I can't pronounce, Thierry Noel, I think, historian and advisor in Ubisoft's editorial research unit, via an official Q&A. But the fact is, and I think what's really important, is that it was part of the conception of the world. Sagas and myths from the Norse society are full of tough female characters and warriors. It was a part of their idea in the world, that women and men were equally formidable in battle, and that's something that Assassin's Creed Valhalla will reflect. Battlefield 5 made a big show of its female playable character, putting her front and center on the Xbox and promotional art material, despite a long history of women serving in the armed forces. Read up on these few random exceptions, you'll get the choice. That decision enraged a small but vocal subset of gamers who decried the game's lack of, quote, historical accuracy. Yeah, interesting. How'd that work out for Battlefield 5? Oh, that's right. They just announced that they've stopped providing any additional support to the game, and sales were well below expectations because geniuses at DICE told everyone that if you don't like it, don't buy it. Shocking. So it's like Kotaku completely ignores the existence of the fact that there is large-scale negative repercussions to Battlefield 5's divisive position against its fans. Now, I'm not saying that having female playable characters in the game are bad. I think it's cool. Of course you should have it. Players should have choice. I firmly believe that just giving everyone a character creator with all available options is just the easiest way, not only to avoid any backlash, but also to be fair and inclusive to people that want it. I think that's okay. Now, when you have a story, though, it doesn't necessarily have to be inclusive. All right, if a story is centered around a man, that's okay. The problem is, again, that stories centered around men are inherently criticized by games media as being problematic and exclusive. Stories around women are inherently celebrated by media for being stunning and brave, and this is a problem. The two are not, these two polar opposites aren't the reality. Stories about men are okay. Stories about women are okay. Endless articles whining about pushback only creates more pushback. If Kotaku genuinely cared about inclusion and not having a negative reaction to things, if Paul Tassi genuinely cared about inclusion and not having reaction and pushback to things, they would stop antagonizing the community, looking for their woke points and stunning and brave retweets on Twitter. Hope she sees this, boys. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.